Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. I don't like working on the weekend.
I've noticed that. You mention that every weekend. One of these days, I'm going to take the hint and fire you and get someone who likes it. It'll be the John and someone else show. But for now, we're stuck with Heidi. So.
Well, then.
I know. We're stuck with Heidi's attitude. I love Heidi. I got a guest coming up later today. Melissa Sullivan from Mayflower. You know who Mayflower is?
Yeah, it's a moving company.
Yeah, it's the boat that the pilgrims... Oh, it's a moving company?
Yeah.
I thought she was a pilgrim. No, she's with the moving company. But she's talking about something I've never heard of. It's called vacation moving. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's where people go to like a destination where they want to just be on vacation all the time, I think. I guess we'll find out. We're going to ask her all about it later in the program. Because I read this article about vacation moving. I'm like, what? Vacation moving? Kind of sounds like fun. Hey,
I thought you meant they'd come in and move you while you're on vacation.
Hey, that's a cool idea, too. Maybe I'll give her that idea, and I'll say it was all mine. Hey, I got a couple quotes here from Colin Powell. He says, there's no secret to success. It's a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. I agree.
I love Colin Powell.
I've failed so many times in life, and that's why I have succeeded so many times in life. I mean,
we've succeeded?
We have. I found you. First I failed and found someone else, and then we got divorced, and then I found you. See? That's what I'm saying.
Super.
And I got another quote. George Burns, since we have the Saturday and the Sunday, because the weekend, George Burns' quote says, I honestly think it's better to be a failure at something you love than to be a success at something you hate. And I'll agree with that, too.
There you go.
All right. Coming up, we got some special things going on this weekend. We'll tell you all about it in a bit. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. We'll start with Saturday, May the 6th, Bladder Cancer Awareness Day, Bombshell Day, Dandelion Day, Free Comic Book Day, Herb Day, or Herb Day, depending on how you want to say that word, Joseph Brackett Day, Joined Hands Day, Kentucky Derby Day, Mariachi Day, Martin Z. Mollusk Day, National Homebrew Day, National Scrapbooking Day, National Wildfire Community Preparedness Day, No Diet Day. I celebrate that one every day. No Homework Day. Well, I would hope it's a Saturday, the 6th of May, so you shouldn't be doing homework then. Nurses Day or National RN Recognition Day. Russell Stover Candies Day. Start Seeing Monarchs Day. And World Naked Gardening Day. So call Grandma and see what she's up to. Then Sunday, Cosmo Day. International Bereaved Mother's Day, Motorcycle Mass and Blessing of the Bikes Day.
I was going to say bleeding of the bikes.
I should wear my glasses. Oh, I am. National Infertility Survival Day, National Barrier Awareness Day, Rural Life Sunday, and World Laughter Day. It's a busy weekend, so if you have nothing to do, maybe it's you. We used to watch TV shows when the network told us to. Then came the DVR, and that changed everything. You could watch what you want, when you want. But you were still stuck paying the ridiculous monthly fees. And they even upcharged you for that DVR. Well, a few months ago, I cut my cable. We were paying a bundle. It was $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we just pay for the internet, and I save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this, too, at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. There's a special drive-thru in Virginia that offers something a little more than fast food. Bishop Nathaniel Johnson of Sweet Holy Haven Church of God has been standing in front of their church offering drive-thru prayer to anybody who will stop by from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m., 7 days a week, rain or shine.
We've talked about this.
I think we have. I think we absolutely have. He says, we've got a drive-thru banks. We've got drive-thru hamburger joints. Why not drive-thru prayer? Sound crazy? Well, Johnson says he admits it's not easy to get out of bed at 5:15 every morning and be headed outdoors before dawn, especially when few people bother to stop by that early. But when business is a little slow, he says, he just waves to the passing cars and smiles. But during some hours, they have like traffic jams, if I remember correctly from the last story. This one doesn't say that. So didn't we have one where they said the police had to come and direct traffic at some points of the day?
I don't know. I don't remember that. But
maybe it's a different guy?
I just think it's really sad that would even be needed. Go to the church. Just go to church.
You can do that. Or I don't know if you know this, but you can pray on your own anywhere you want to. I mean, we live in a country where it's free to do that. Did you know that?
I did know
We could
that.
pray right here, right now if we wanted to. We probably won't, but we could. I'm going to have to when we're done with this break now. But I'm just saying, it's something where you don't need to go and talk to this guy.
But it doesn't hurt to have more than one person praying for you.
That's true.
Especially somebody who's,
Bishop Nathaniel Johnson of Sweet Holy Haven Church of God.
Exactly. So Bishop.
He's there in Virginia. So
he's on a first name basis.
Can we start a drive-through prayer thing here, or should be a call-in prayer? Call in, we'll pray for you for just $9.95. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being a wise guy. All right. Anyway, this is happening with the what is his name? Bishop Nathaniel Johnson at Sweet Holy Haven Church of God in Virginia, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your Brain on Drugs. We head to Statesboro, Georgia, where Police Sergeant Jason Kearney was sitting in his patrol car when all of a sudden, a dude walks up and asks him for a ride to his car. Now, it's okay to ask an officer for help, right? Mm-hmm. Usually.
Yeah.
Kearney said, okay. Then he said, before I let you in the car, I'm going to make sure you don't have any weapons on you. And the guy said, yeah, go ahead. He didn't find weapons, but he did find 2 bags of marijuana, stuff that he claimed, oh, that's not mine. But then a check found he was already wanted on an outstanding warrant for possession of drugs with intent to distribute. So did he get a free ride? Yes, he did. Destination, not his car. Mm-hmm. Destination was jail. So there you go. I just don't understand why this guy thought, of all the people to ask for a ride, well, I've got my pockets filled with drugs.
Right.
Why not ask a police officer? Oh, considering I'm already wanted on a warrant for drugs. Again, that's what happens, kids, when your brain is on drugs. You just don't think. We've got your moment of duh on the way. If you're out of work and you're looking for a job, it may feel like an emergency to you to find a job, but it's not an emergency in this particular instance. Let's explain what's going on. A man wanted to be a police officer in the United Kingdom. He made a very bad first impression, though. He sent in his application, and he didn't hear back right away, so he thought, I'm going to follow up. And he called. The problem was, instead of calling their regular office number, he dialed their version of 911. There, it's 999. So in the UK, 999 is like America's 911. Not only did emergency operators chew him out, but they also informed the police chief, and they rejected his application before they even got to do an interview. So he's not going to be a police officer now. Why would you do that? Your number's still 911?
Alrighty then.
Yeah, so don't do that. It's just a bad idea. Just don't do that. All right, coming up, we had a little Jim Carrey moment there. Is that what happened? Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got your scoop of the day right now. And for those of you who are on Twitter or on Facebook, you might have seen this little story that happened this last week. It says here, Twitter lit up with support for the Minnesota teen that didn't have a date for the prom. So she went to the prom with her acceptance letter to Harvard as her date. That's actually kind of cool.
Okay.
So who's your date? My acceptance letter to Harvard. When you guys are going to be shoveling fries out a drive-through window somewhere, I'll be going to school and getting an education. So who cares if you don't want to date me at the prom? I'm going to be okay. Heidi, the look on Heidi's face is priceless. Would you let our daughter go to prom with a acceptance letter to Harvard?
No.
I think it's actually kind of funny. QuickBook is a
well,
QuickBook.
you wonder why she doesn't have a date. She's got a bad attitude. She's probably a feminist.
You're just
raging, angry human being, and
wow, Heidi is just jumping to all kinds of conclusions. Did you see any of this on Facebook, or did you see it online anywhere? She seemed like a sweet little girl to me.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was, she'd have a date to prom.
Would you just meow? Did it get catty in here, or is it just me? Facebook is quickly closing in on 2 billion monthly users. That is people who visit the social media site at least once a month. An average of 1.28 billion people use Facebook every single day. So 2 billion is where they're going to be pretty darn quick for once a month, 1.28 every single day. Filming is underway in Atlanta on the sequel to Bad Moms. We saw this movie.
Why would they even make a second one? The first one was horrific.
Bad Moms 2 is going to be a Christmas-type movie. It's going to have like a holiday theme to it.
That's super.
It'll hit theaters on November the 3rd, so just in time to ruin your holidays.
I won't be bothering with that one.
I don't think I will either. We saw the first one, and all the way through, I was like, there were so many opportunities for this to be better.
Right, and I really expected it to be super hilarious because the previews made it look really funny.
The previews were really good. Then you got there, and you're like, wow, this just really wasn't.
What a letdown, because it was a very talented cast.
And I was going to say, I love most of the people in it.
Yeah.
It just like
the movie just...
The writers went on strike, I think, is what happened. I'm not sure.
No.
They're like, hey, we got this idea, but we're not going to finish it. Hey, President Trump has a red button on his desk that he can push to have a Coca-Cola brought to him.
Oh, that's cool.
I hope it's not too close to the other red button. It's like, I'm in the mood for a Coke.
Thirsty.
Oh, dang it, I just nuked North Korea. Son of a gun. Well, now I need another Coke.
Put some rum in that Coke. It's going to be a long day.
He doesn't drink, so that wouldn't happen. Hey, Delta, we've had all kinds of interesting news from United. Remember? They like beat the snot out of some passenger.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've been bouncing
then they did
others.
it again. Yeah.
They had like 4 negative stories. Delta has some good news. People who flew Delta last week, on Saturday of last week, they were treated to a free concert by Kenny G. Just an impromptu. He happened to be on the flight. There was going to be a little bit of a wait, and he said, hey, would you guys mind if I get out my guitar? He doesn't play guitar. What does he play? Saxophone? You mind if I get out my saxophone? It doesn't say in the story. He doesn't play guitar,
He
though.
plays jazz flute.
Jazz flute. You mind if I get out my jazz flute? Play a little Kenny G music for you. So anyway, that's kind of cool.
Probably the biggest crowd he's played in front of in years.
Oh, no. Heidi. You go sit in the corner. You have just been naughty today. ESPN
Told you not to make me work on the weekends.
ESPN cut over 100 employees on Wednesday. That's really sad. So there's people out there that like sports, that had a job in sports working for ESPN, and all of a sudden they're like, now what am I going to do? Where am I going to get paid to talk about sports? Oh, welcome home. The 5th Indiana Jones movie is happening now. It's on the docket. Harrison Ford signed up to star. Steven Spielberg signed up to direct. It's going to hit theaters July the 10th. 2020. So we got a time to wait.
I liked the Indiana Jones movie, but the very last one that they did was
just not
awful.
good. Yeah, last one was like the writers went on strike.
We were just saying just the other day that all the movies that come out lately, like
They've
the
been
new releases,
not so good.
They're just terrible. And that's why they're trying to go back in time and recreate the good stuff, because they can't come up with anything decent on their own.
What's good? Indiana Jones. That guy's still alive? Let's call him. When can we film this? Sometime between now and 2020.
Let's do another Die Hard. Think he'll still perform his own stunts.
Bruce Willis like, would you guys just let this franchise die? Really? All right. Coming up, we got a special guest and some fun facts and much, much more on a weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
80s in the Sand will be happening this November in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And that'll be here before you know it.
Join us and have a blast with 80s in the Sand.
An all-inclusive vacation with some of the greatest bands of the 80s.
Plus, you can meet some 80s icons from the movies and television as well.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we're going to talk about something that I had never even heard of before. It's called vacation moving. So we've got the folks from Mayflower, and they're a moving company, and they have been doing a little study to track the millennials and what they're up to out there. And again, I've got Melissa Sullivan from Mayflower, and she's going to explain to us a little bit about vacation moving. Melissa, what is vacation moving? What does that even mean?
So at Mayflower, each year we do a study of millennial moving habits to find out what this largest generation in U.S. history is doing. And this year we found a really interesting phenomenon called vacation movers. These are people who move to a new city with no intention of settling there permanently. So they're going there for a few years and then planning to move somewhere else after that.
Now, is there a particular reason that this ends up happening when they go there and then they go somewhere else?
Well, so we've found that about 2 in 5 millennials are actually vacation movers. And what they tell us is they're looking for excitement. They're looking for adventure. They want to follow a fun job or lifestyle to a city where they may not necessarily be close to family, or they can't afford to purchase a house and settle down in that particular city. But before they settle down, they're looking for this adventure, and they're going to try it out for a few years.
Do they typically have like a timeline for staying in a chosen city? Are they staying there for a year? Are they staying there for 6 months? Or how long do they typically stay?
So it's different. The timeline is different for each millennial, but the majority of them do have a specific timeline in mind. So what we've heard is age 30 is kind of the magic number for millennials. So, and more than 50% by age 30 or 35 are wanting to be in the place where they're going to settle down. So that's the age where they're looking to buy a home, get married, things like that. So depending on where they fall in the age range, they may have a different timeline in mind for how long they plan to stay in their vacation city.
So with this trend that's happening, should parents of these millennials be concerned, thinking that, oh, my kid's never going to settle down? Or should they just realize that, hey, no, they're just trying to go out and live and have fun?
Right. So Mayflower has good news for all those parents and realtors that might be worried. So 91% of vacation movers are also what we call settle downers. So they do eventually intend to put down roots and settle down in one city. And like I said, a lot of times it's by age 30 or 35. And most of those people are also wanting to buy a home. A lot of people talk about millennials aren't buying homes. They're renters. They're very transient. Well, eventually they are wanting to buy homes.
That's really cool. Now, maybe for a city that has one of these people, or some of these people that move there, is there something that cities can do to convince them to stay so they don't just move away?
Absolutely. Well, so a lot of cities are attracting millennials with fun lifestyle opportunities, a lot of outdoor activities or restaurants or microbreweries, and that's a great way to attract millennials to your city in the first place. But what millennials are telling us is stay in a location permanently. They need a really good job market, and they need an affordable cost of living. So millennials are looking for that good mix of excitement and stability.
That's really cool. I had never heard of vacation moving before, so I'm glad that you explained this to us.
No, it's a really interesting concept that we're seeing, and we're learning a lot about different trends from millennials. We actually have the full study available on our website at mayflower.com for anyone who's interested in learning a little bit more.
Melissa, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with us, and it's really cool. Like I said, there's a whole generation that's younger than me, and I don't understand them completely, but they do interesting things, and this is one of the things that I had never really thought I would ever consider doing. But you know what? If the millennials are liking it and if it's working for them, that's actually kind of a cool idea to get out and live life a little bit while you're here.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me, John.
Well, thank you again, Melissa. Melissa is with Mayflower Moving Company. And again, they got a fun little study they've done about the millennials out there. And millennials are doing things differently than the way I've done things and the way that maybe you've done things. But you know what? If they're going to do it, it's kind of maybe not such a bad idea to get out there and live life while we're here on this planet. So this thing called vacation moving. And if you'd like to know more about it, they've got the full report on their website, and that's mayflower.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever, or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The platypus can eat its weight in worms every single day.
I like the platypus.
The duck-billed platypus?
Yeah.
Are they all duck-billed, or are they just
think
some?
So.
I wonder if there's... it doesn't say the duck-billed platypus here.
I assumed they all had a duck bill. I thought that's what a platypus was.
You know, when there was a story, I read the story where they first brought that in to a person and they thought that it was a joke. They thought they were kidding around. They didn't think that was a real animal.
Yeah.
Like an anthropologist. They're like, whatever. What are you guys doing? What are you
Ended
playing
up
here?
killing the platypus, pulling his
Trying to pry his beak
beak
off. What? Is it a beak? A bill. There we go. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Before it became PG, the parental guidance movie rating was known as GP. So it was like...
Okay. Guidance parental.
Apparently. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Where am I at here? Oh, down here.
That is a fun fact.
Cesar Romero was the actor who played the Joker in the TV version of Batman.
Cesar Romero was tall.
I never said Cesar Romero was tall. I said he was Spanish. That's going to do it for our fun facts. We had
Cesar Romero was not Spanish.
Oh, I said he was tall.
I didn't say Cesar Romero was Spanish. I said Cesar Romero was tall.
That was from while you were sleeping. And apparently I was sleeping because I had my stuff all messed up over here. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Have you thought of starting a home-based business but didn't like the idea of calling family and friends? This top-quality fitness and health products company lets you take advantage of their advertising power to reach people who wish to add a few hundred or a few $1,000s a week to their income by following a simple system. Plus, everyone who joins the team after you benefits you as well. To learn more about how you can leverage your time to help others get healthy and create wealth from home, call Scott Smith at 866-741-7242. That's 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We were talking a little bit ago about the folks at ESPN. There are 100 people who work for ESPN that were let go this last Wednesday. So for those of you who are looking for a job, you might want to keep some things in mind, because I got this story right here, and it says some do's and don'ts if you want to get a job. And apparently there are people that do this stuff during interviews. It says, don't bite your nails during an interview.
Yeah.
That's not good. If you're doing that, that doesn't portray a positive. Have you ever done that?
No. And it makes you look nervous.
Don't fidget. Don't interrupt. Do I even have to say this one? Don't belch during an interview. Really? Who is doing this? These are do's and don'ts. They talked to a survey of top executives at 100 American corporations, and these were all things that really, truly happened. And here are some others. Somebody actually, when they came in, they said, okay, we need you to fill out this application. And they took it, they grabbed a pen off the person's desk, and they laid on the floor. And chest down on the floor.
While they were laying on the floor.
They just laid on the floor there and started doing it right there.
Wow.
Who would do that? That is insane. You don't do that.
I could see me doing that.
I could see you just telling the person, oh, fill it out? Awesome. Here, I'm going to sit right here. And you just sit in their chair and slide their coffee out of the way. And mind if I use your internet browser here? I want to put on some good music.
I always write while laying on the floor, so I could totally see me do it.
Another person was wearing headphones during the interview, and the person doing the interview said, can you even hear me? And they said, I can't really hear you very well when I've got my music on. But they just kept listening to the music. A balding candidate came in and sat down for the interview and then saw a reflection of himself and said, oh, I'll be right back. And he ran to the car and came back in wearing a toupee. All askew like.
That's awesome.
Another person showed up for the interview, announced, well, I didn't really have time for the interview and lunch, and pulled out a bag and started eating a burger.
Oh my gosh.
During the interview. It's a multitasker anyway. Another person stated, if I'm hired, I will demonstrate my loyalty by having the corporate logo tattooed on my arm. And Heidi hired him. No, that wasn't from us. Another one interrupted the interviewer to phone his therapist for advice on answering some questions during the interview.
Yeah, that's not going to get you the job.
Yeah, I'm here in an interview. How should I answer this? Like, it doesn't really matter how you answer it at this point.
No.
All right, a couple of other interesting ones here. I've got all of these posted on our Facebook page if you want to read them. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
We used to watch TV shows when the network told us to. Then came the DVR, and that changed everything. You could watch what you want, when you want. But you were still stuck paying the ridiculous monthly fees. And they even upcharged you for that DVR. Well, a few months ago, I cut my cable. We were paying a bundle. It was $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we just pay for the internet, and I save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this, too, at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. Bad behavior will not be tolerated, Heidi, at this upcoming high school graduation in Florida. In fact, they note that they have to sign, everybody has to sign a promise that they will behave and stay in good conduct, but we're not talking about the graduating seniors It's the parents that have to sign the forms. Yeah. The Broward School Board is making parents sign a letter promising that they will leave their air horns and their noisemakers and their loud, disruptive behavior at home this year. I mean, what's the fun in that? Parents who refuse to sign the letter will not get tickets to see their child graduate. Board members also suggest extra security to remove rowdy relatives, and they're going to check bags for noisemakers on the way in.
So sign the letter and go in and make whatever noise you want anyway. What are they going to do?
Bounce you? Didn't you just hear the story?
When you get bounced, your kid's already walked across the stage because you're not going to be screaming for anybody else's kid.
You scream for other kids. Oh, Mike, you're not graduating now. Your parents really... That wasn't even my family. Sure it wasn't. Whatever, Mike. Give me that diploma. All right, coming up, we got a Python story. It's on the way. I don't know if this snake has a name, but if he does, it's probably Monty, because it's a python. You know, Monty the python.
Yeah.
Well, a woman in Georgia walked into her apartment, went into the bathroom, and found a python slithering up the wall. Yeesh. Gwendolyn Howard says she called her apartment complex for help. She rents an apartment.
Sure.
Says, hey, there's a snake in my bathroom. They said, okay, well, you're going to have to file a work order.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's a snake in my apartment and a bunch of gunshots where I tried killing the darn thing. Yeah, file a work order. We'll get somebody up there between, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock next Tuesday. Can you imagine that? Hey, the apartment's on fire. File a work order. We'll get to you when we get to you.
I'd be moving.
I think I would be too. I understand that they can't just leap into action at every little thing, but
it's a snake.
Yeah, a python.
It's a big snake.
Is loose.
Send somebody
in the building.
I mean, clearly the maintenance guy isn't going to be the one to tackle that project.
No.
You're going to need to call a professional.
I wonder if she could have just called like animal control or.
But then she would have had to pay for it.
Really?
She needed
Do you have to pay for the removal of a snake?
Yes.
Do you really? I thought they get to keep the snake. Doesn't that count for something? I don't know how it works. All right. Well, I guess I have to look into that. Coming up, we got, it's kind of like today's whole program is about people looking for jobs. If you're looking for a job, I'll tell you about 14 really cool jobs that are coming open on an island. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that in a bit.
Ooh.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Earlier in the program, we talked about the folks at ESPN. 100 people lost their job this week. Then we had some do's and don'ts for the job interviews. You can see those at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Now we actually have some jobs that are available.
This was just such an informative, helpful program.
I am
today.
so glad that we were able to do this. We could probably mark this down as community service. I mean, it's just,
It's too bad it's being wasted on a weekend when most people are not listening.
They're all listening. Are you listening? Nod your head if you are. Look at that, Heidi. See? Well, there's plenty of job openings on a remote Scottish island of Gigha. It's Gigha. I probably said it wrong. Population 100, 14 jobs are open right now, Heidi.
Okay.
Now, the jobs that they're looking for, they're trying to find a shopkeeper, a rent collector, a postman, a special constable, an insurance agent, a pier master, a registrar, a fire chief, an ambulance driver, a school bus driver, guest house owner, gas attendant, taxi driver, an undertaker. Why so many jobs open?
Is this a brand new town?
No, it's been around a long time. Why so many jobs open on such a small island? Because Seamus McSporran decided he's going to retire. He's 62 and he's doing all of these jobs right now. Seamus says it's time to hang it up and find another man or men or several men or women to do it because I'm done. He's doing 14 jobs right now.
What's the temperature like in this
It's in the
area?
It's a Scottish island of Gigha or whatever.
Scotland.
You don't want to go there?
No.
Which one of those did you want to do? School bus driver?
I'd be the
Undertaker?
rent collector.
Yeah, you just walk around here. I can't imagine any of these are full-time jobs because a rent collector, you're going to walk around once a month, say, need some money. Thank you. See you in a month. Make sure this check doesn't bounce. I got a lot of money I got riding on this. I quit my good job to come here. Guest house owner, gas attendant. Some of these, the taxi driver, the school bus driver, and the ambulance driver, I mean, all of those are they could just call that the driver. You're the driver in this town.
That dude was busy.
He was 62 years old, and he's like, I'm finally done doing all this.
And there's only like 4 people on the island.
100 people. There's 100 people on the island. He's one of 100, and he has 14 jobs. So I don't know what the other people do. Apparently nothing. Apparently. All right, coming up, we've got some good news. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap up this program with some good news, and I think this is good news. Heidi thinks it's good news. You know how I know? Because she shared it with me. I was over here searching on my computer the old-fashioned hard way, trying to find some good news, and then she somehow has some amazing ability to just like clickety-click, hey, here's some good news. You have some magical tool that you use?
I do.
She found a website that's chock full of good news. If you've got good news to share, I'd love it if you'd still share it, but now at least I have a backup source, so I don't have to like scratch my head trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about, like this one. A Canadian crowd belts out the U.S. national anthem when the mic fails. Now, you can watch the video. I don't know if the mic failed or if he just wasn't hearing it in his monitor, because I could hear it. Singing the national anthem before a game is possibly the most patriotic part of any sporting event, especially if it's not even your own national anthem. Before Game 3 of the Edmonton Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks on Sunday night, Brett Kissel was readying to sing the U.S. national anthem when his mic gave out. Now, like I said, you can see the video. He remained totally unfazed. The singer took a step back from the obsolete equipment and started conducting all 18,000 fans at the Rogers Place Arena to sing their rousing rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, despite the fact that a large number of these people are Canadian. The crowd still knew every word. The Ducks went on to win 6-3. It is safe to say that the Edmontons succeeded in providing how nice Canadians really are. And I've got a link to this. What did I say?
Providing.
Oh, you should be reading these stories too. I clearly need different glasses. I don't know
take them off.
Hey, I can see again. Wow. Anyway, I just thought it was a really cool video. We've got a link to it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show if you want to see it. But I think it's cool. Here's my concern. If we had to do the same thing, could we do it? Could we sing the Canadian national anthem? Here's how much of it I know. Oh, Canada, I don't know anything else, though.
I didn't even know that part.
That's the only part I know. I feel really bad about that. I should probably know more of it in case I ever have to sing it in front of a crowd of 18,000 people.
I don't think that would be an impromptu demand.
Safe to say I won't?
You'd probably have time to prepare if that was ever going to happen.
So what's on the docket for tonight? Will you be singing the national anthem? Oh, the Canadian national anthem. Can I print it out or something? All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Time now for a bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.